Think you understand credit scores? Think again. The credit industry has spent decades convincing you that your 3-digit number is the key to financial success. But there are some seriously dark truths about credit scores that banks, credit card companies, and even financial advisors don't want you to know. 45% of Americans have never checked their credit report for errors. The average person spends $279,000 more in interest over their lifetime due to credit score misconceptions. And here's the kicker. Most of what you think you know about credit scores is either wrong or deliberately misleading. So how do we make sure you're not getting played by a system designed to keep you paying? Stick around, because what I'm about to reveal might completely change how you think about credit. And hey, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. This channel exposes the financial truths that nobody else wants to talk about. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Let's dive in. Truth number 1. Your credit score is not a measure of how good you are with money. It's a measure of how profitable you are to lenders. This is the big lie that nobody talks about. People think a high credit score means you're financially responsible. Wrong. A high credit score means you're the perfect customer for banks. Someone who borrows money and pays it back with interest consistently for years. Want proof? Someone who pays cash for everything and never borrows money will have a terrible credit score. Someone who carries credit card balances, makes minimum payments, and has multiple loans will have an excellent credit score. Which person is actually better with money? The credit scoring system rewards debt usage, not debt avoidance. It's literally designed to identify people who will borrow money and pay interest forever. The responsible behavior that gets you the highest credit score is keeping small balances on multiple cards, having various types of loans, and basically being in debt constantly. Here's what'll blow your mind. The people with perfect 850 credit scores aren't the ones who never use credit. They're the ones who use credit regularly and pay it off strategically. They're not avoiding debt, they're managing it like a business. The uncomfortable truth is that the credit scoring system is designed to make you a profitable customer, not a financially free person. Every tip for improving your credit score is actually a tip for becoming a better borrower, not a better saver. Truth number 2. Credit repair companies are mostly scams, but credit reporting agencies are the real villains. Everyone knows credit repair companies are sketchy. They promise to fix your credit for a fee when most of what they do, you can do yourself for free. But here's what nobody talks about. The credit reporting agencies, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, are just as bad, if not worse. These companies collect your personal financial data, sell it to anyone who will pay, and then charge you to see your own information. They make billions of dollars from your data, but when their systems get hacked, like Equifax's massive breach that exposed 147 million Americans, they face basically no consequences. Here's the really messed up part. These agencies have zero incentive to keep your information accurate. They make money whether your credit report is right or wrong. In fact, they make more money when your credit is damaged, because then you pay for monitoring services and credit repair. Studies show that 79% of credit reports contain errors. That's not a bug, it's a feature. The system is designed to have errors because errors are profitable. When your credit score is lower due to mistakes, you pay higher interest rates, and the lenders share some of that profit with the credit agencies. The agencies know most people will never check their reports, and even fewer will go through the hassle of disputing errors. So they have no motivation to fix a broken system that's making them rich. Truth number 3. The credit utilization rules are designed to keep you in debt. Every credit expert will tell you to keep your credit utilization below 30%. Some even say below 10%. But here's what they're not telling you. This rule is designed to keep you carrying balances and paying interest. Think about it logically. If you have a $10,000 credit limit and you're supposed to keep utilization below 30%, you're being encouraged to carry a $3,000 balance. Even at 0% interest, that's $3,000 of your money tied up in credit card debt instead of earning returns and investments. But here's the really sneaky part. The credit scoring algorithm doesn't just look at your overall utilization. It looks at individual card utilization too. So if you have 3 cards with $10,000 limits each, you're encouraged to carry small balances on all 3 cards instead of just paying them off completely. The optimal strategy for your credit score is to have multiple cards with small balances that you pay off strategically. But the optimal strategy for your wealth is to have 0 balances and invest that money instead. These goals are completely opposite. Here's what'll make you angry. If you pay off all your cards every month like a financially responsible person, your credit score might actually drop because you're not showing active credit management. The system literally punishes you for being debt-free. Truth number 4, credit scores are artificially manipulated to create different classes of borrowers. Here's something that'll blow your mind. The same person can have credit scores that vary by 100 points or more, depending on which scoring model is used. FICO has dozens of different scoring models, and each lender might use a different one. Your mortgage lender might see a score of 720, your credit card company might see 680, and your auto dealer might see 750, all for the same person on the same day. This isn't an accident. It's designed to create confusion and allow lenders to charge different rates based on which score they choose to use. But here's the really dark part. Lenders often use older, harsher scoring models that give you lower scores, even though newer models might give you higher ones. They're not required to use the most favorable score. They can pick whichever one justifies the interest rate they want to charge. The credit scoring industry has created a system where they can basically justify any interest rate they want by choosing the right scoring model. Got denied for a loan? They can point to a score that makes it look justified. Want to charge you 18% instead of 12%? They'll use a model that shows a lower score. This is why you might get pre-approved for a credit card with excellent credit required, then get hit with a 24% interest rate. They used one score to get you in the door, then used a different score to set your rate. Truth number 5. The credit industry profits from your financial emergencies. Credit scores are supposed to help lenders assess risk, right? Wrong. They're designed to identify people who are likely to need credit during emergencies and then charge them more for it. Here's how it works. When you're financially stable, you don't really need credit. You might use it for convenience, but you could pay cash if you had to. But when you hit a financial emergency, job loss, medical bills, car repairs, suddenly you need credit. And that's when the credit industry has you trapped. The scoring algorithms are designed to predict when you're likely to become desperate for credit. Missed payments, high utilization, new accounts. These aren't just signs of financial stress. They're signals that you're about to become a very profitable customer. Once you're in financial distress, your credit score drops, which means you pay higher interest rates on any new credit you need. It's a vicious cycle. You need credit because you're in financial trouble, but you pay more for credit because you're in financial trouble. The really sick part? The credit industry markets this as risk-based pricing. They're not trying to help you. They're trying to extract maximum profit from your worst moments. When you're drowning, they don't throw you a life preserver. They sell you a concrete block. Truth number 6. Credit monitoring services are selling you protection from a problem they created. Ever notice how the same companies that collect your credit data also sell you credit monitoring services? That's not a coincidence. They create the problem, then sell you the solution. Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion make billions from selling your data to lenders, but they also make billions from selling you protection services to monitor that same data. They're literally getting paid twice, once to collect your information and once to tell you what they're doing with it. Here's what's really messed up. These monitoring services don't actually prevent identity theft or credit fraud. They just tell you about it after it happens. And most of the dark web monitoring and identity theft protection they offer is theater. It makes you feel safer without actually making you safer. The free credit monitoring they offer after data breaches, that's not generosity, that's marketing. They're hoping you'll forget to cancel the service after the free period ends. Then they'll start charging you $20, $30 a month to watch your own data. But here's the kicker. You can get most of this monitoring for free directly from the credit agencies or through your bank. The paid services are mostly selling you peace of mind, not actual protection. Truth number 7. The entire credit scoring system is designed to keep you financially dependent. This is the big one that ties everything together. The credit scoring system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. It's not meant to help you build wealth. It's meant to keep you borrowing money forever. Think about it. If everyone paid cash for everything, the entire credit industry would collapse. Banks need borrowers to make money. Credit card companies need people carrying balances. The whole system depends on people being in debt. So they've created a scoring system that rewards debt usage and punishes financial independence. They've made it so you need credit to buy a house, rent an apartment, sometimes even get a job. They've made credit scores so important that people obsess over them instead of focusing on building actual wealth. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The financially free person with a mediocre credit score is in a much better position than the debt-laden person with a perfect score. But the credit industry has convinced everyone that the number matters more than the actual financial situation. The system trains you to think like a borrower instead of thinking like an investor. It teaches you to manage debt instead of avoiding it. It makes you focus on your credit score instead of your net worth. And here's the really insidious part. It starts young. Kids are taught that building credit is a crucial life skill. They're encouraged to get credit cards in college, to take out student loans, to finance their first car. By the time they're adults, they can't imagine life without credit. The credit scoring system has created a generation of people who think debt is normal, who think you need credit to be successful, and who spend their lives trying to optimize their borrowing ability instead of building wealth. Look, I'm not saying credit is always evil. Used strategically, it can be a useful tool. But the credit scoring system is designed to benefit lenders, not borrowers. Understanding this changes everything about how you should think about credit. The uncomfortable truth is that the best credit score is the one you never have to use. The goal shouldn't be to optimize your borrowing ability. It should be to build enough wealth that you don't need to borrow money in the first place. Don't let a 3-digit number control your financial life. Focus on building wealth, not building credit. Because at the end of the day, the person with $1 million in the bank doesn't care what their credit score is. Thanks for watching. If this opened your eyes to how the credit game is really played, smash that like button and subscribe for more financial reality checks. And let me know in the comments, are you going to change how you think about credit scores, or do you think I'm being too paranoid? Until next time, focus on your net worth, not your credit score.